and welcome to the Sugar and Spice podcast, A Secret Marriage Diary, where I interview couples as well as discuss topics on different ways to keep your marriage and relationship thriving emotionally, physically, and mentally. My name is Latoya Haynes Piper, owner and romantic getaway travel specialist at Travel Romantic Getaways, helping couples ignite and maintain their passion for each other through romance travel. Now, on today's show, we have guests Crystal and Daniel. They will be on to share their story with us and provide some great takeaways on how they make their marriage last. Now, just to provide a little bit of information about Crystal and Daniel, Crystal is a first-time married newlywed. She states that by choice, she waited almost too late to date in hopes of finding her soulmate. And after countless meaningless dates, she finally met her king, Daniel. So Crystal and Daniel, thank you both so much for being on the show. I really appreciate you taking the time to come out. And I definitely value your time. So I really appreciate you both coming on today.
Thank you for having us. We're honored.
Oh, no problem at all. So the reason why I wanted you both to come on the show was because I met Crystal at the 2022 Couples Fest event, and we'll go into more detail about that. And she actually shared a little bit of her story when they asked about a little bit of their backstory in their bio. So Crystal and Daniel, can you please tell the audience how you both met?
Yes, I actually, and I guess Daniel can collaborate with this story as I move on. But we basically met online during the pandemic. It was really tough to actually physically go on dates.
Oh, okay.
And so it was really almost probably more than a year ago, but not much longer, that we decided to meet at a restaurant. And it was actually in my neighborhood, but also in Daniel's neighborhood as a child. That was his childhood neighborhood. So what kind of made us really kind of, advance our interest was that we were familiar with the same area because we live in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. It's a very large area. We were really kind of not living close to each other, actually, but we knew the same neighborhood. So we met at the restaurant, and which, we parked our cars and started walking our way up there. And I guess we were both a little leery. I was, more giddy and upbeat, but I actually was working so much during the pandemic. I'm a nurse, so I was pulled in many directions. And according to Daniel, I looked kind of tired, but anyway,
but you still showed up though.
Yeah, he claims I had dark circles under my eyes, and this is all funny, but I'm thinking that I'm going to make the best impression I can, because I really did feel like I've gone on a few dates. This is becoming a little weird. I just don't know where it's going to end or where I'm going to end up. So, we had a nice meet right there at the, it's called the Old Town area. And then we started to proceed to walking. And later I didn't realize it, but, we started walking and talking. And, I was going toward the restaurant in which Daniel was familiar with, but I can honestly say, and he'll let you know, he probably hasn't gone on a date because he was previously married in at least 30 years. So,
wow. Okay.
I knew the whole, I was like dating an advanced dater at that point.
Right.
I mean, I knew the restaurant where I was going to sit and what I was going to
you already knew.
Right. And, I guess, Daniel, you could say a little bit how you were feeling at that point.
I've never dated before because my wife passed away.
Okay.
We were married 38 years, so I didn't know what to expect. I was going to walk around the park. I didn't know it was going to go to the restaurant.
Oh, okay.
My wallet, so we went to a restaurant. Oh no, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no wallet.
I honestly had not been in too many positions in which I judge somebody as far as man or woman should pay. Right. I thought maybe I would just go Dutch and, I would really just pay for mine and he paid for, that way we didn't have any. But it was true that I was, yes, expecting him to pay because it was just our first date. And when we sat down, with COVID going, they really brought some food out that we normally would get a lot more. The advertising of it was kind of, it was like a couple of shrimp there. Yeah, it was like 2 shrimps and like, it was really like skimpy. Yeah, it was really skimpy, but nevertheless, the bill came and I just went ahead and paid it because Daniel did offer to go back out to his vehicle. We had already walked about 3 blocks at that point, but so I said I would just pay for it. And it was then that I'll be honest with you, I usually would say this is a user. This is somebody who is,
you would? Okay. On the first date.
Well, I just had, and it was going and trying not to judge Daniel on these, they say these frogs before you meet your prince, or you, like you said, your king. So I felt like, yes, they're out there, and online you get what you get, you just don't know what to expect. But it was so true that we were both very sincere people. And I tell you what, Daniel can tell you that he was expecting to take a walk like you do in a park. Right. And that's kind of the old fashioned way. And that's definitely the way that people met before, the more organic way in which you know people through association. It's very rare that we were probably back then meeting people online because it just wasn't available. Right. So the technology had a lot to do with probably what he was thinking, kind of more old fashioned, and which was great. So we actually did take that walk after.
Oh, you did? Was it after? It was after, right?
Yes, it was after. Okay. So you can kind of say how we went down on a waterfront park. Okay. And sat at a bench. And we just started talking a little bit. And how were you feeling at that time?
I'm feeling kind of like she must think I'm broke.
You did.
Well,
I think I'm broke.
And I will tell you that knowing Daniel better now, that is not what he wants people to think about him, nor would anybody, but really him. So I can imagine how he really did want to go get his wallet. And of course, we're talking over a year later, he's never lived it down because it's just,
okay.
I laugh about, we joke about it really because we're here.
Okay, that's good.
But you are correct in that at that time, in hindsight, you don't see that you could have missed out on a good opportunity.
That's something I want to talk about. And you know what? I also notated. So with you sharing that, I had put on here when you said we went to an expensive restaurant in Virginia. Daniel forgot his wallet. I paid for the meal, and he said that he would pay me back. I refused the request for repayment. He then said, I promise to pay for all your meals for the rest of your life. I've been eating lobster ever since. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I want to hear more about their story because I thought that was so great. And just like you said, the reason why I wanted you both to talk about that was because a lot of times, especially we as women, when we go on a first date and something like that was to happen, a woman can be like, oh no, he's trying to use me. He's trying to do this. All kind of thoughts can go in our head. And one thing that I wanted to point out is that I know someone who was engaged and he proposed to her and he didn't provide her with the ring that she wanted. So I think it was like a little small ring, something, very small or whatever it was. And she turned him down. So she was like, no, I won't marry you. And he told her, if you don't accept my ring, then you don't accept me. And that was years ago. And now she regrets that. And I always think to myself, sometimes we can miss out on good things. And I'm real glad that you didn't just turn away and just be like, oh, this is going to be a frivolous day. Nothing's going to come out of it. And he, like you said, he ended up being your king after just that one day. And you deciding to continue with the, going on 1 day to 2 days to 3 days. And then it turned out to become more. And now you're married. So I thought that was great.
Well, thank you. And your friend's story is definitely a lesson. And I will be honest with you, I was your friend at one point. No, I wasn't a dependent woman. No, I wasn't a gold digger, as they say. No, I wasn't any of these things. But I did have it within myself that, yes, a man, should provide
Right.
the best that, I'm so deserving. And it was that, during the pandemic, honestly, is not when that changed for me because I had matured before that, but it really settled in what was important in my life. And I was okay with probably working myself to death because, I was picked up a lot of work and maybe hanging out with friends and just doing, but I had time to focus on me. And so when Daniel came into my life, there's a few other things that has really happened since then that by faith, I didn't put much effort into it, but I'm going to say God may have something to do with it because it was so easy and it fell into place. It wasn't difficult. No one twisted my arm. It wasn't some changes that I wanted to make about my personal life. So, yes, it is true that the door was open and I walked through it, where normally I would close the door, sometimes slam it,
Oh,
and
Lord, not slam.
It's not an actual physical door, but as you know, opportunities in my love life or my personal life, as far as being in a relationship, were always voided by just really things that, as simple as what happened with Daniel and I, that I just wouldn't even contact the person back, or something like this. But really in my heart, I am the person that really did say, hey, don't worry about it. Because that was the least of my things that
I know. And I know Daniel felt bad. He didn't need to feel bad, but I know he did at that time.
Well, yeah. And, him actually turning to me and saying those words about for the rest, this was not probably, and if I can recall, said exactly out of his mouth, but everything that Daniel has done to support us as a couple in our union has been about me not actually eating lobster. I would be huge, but for him,
good.
But yes, but he has provided the top. That, in other words, on the top of the food chain, we like to think of lobster as our premium. Just like filet mignon and things like that. He's provided the best and beyond my expectations. So what I meant by that was that, yes, I could have closed that door very easily thinking that, but just that was more of a symbolization. It was more of so.
Well, kudos to Mr. Daniel. I have to definitely give him his props because he seemed like he's making Miss Crystal very happy. So,
well, I mean, I think we are in a good place. I can say that. Thank you.
That's real good. That's real good. Now, I know you both were runners up for the free wedding giveaway by Marriage Built to Last, which was a all expenses paid wedding ceremony and it was live, I believe, at the 6th Annual Couples Fest 2022, which is hosted by Cynthia and James Green. So I wanted to ask you both, can you please share your experiences of your wedding ceremony at the Couples Fest 2022 event?
Yes, it was really beyond our expectations in that we both were not planners, for one. And really what I first of all is like to thank you, who is one of the vendors and is the persons who provided our travel. And I have since picked out our destinations and we're all on board. Yes, we're all on board and ready to go. And that I just want to thank you first of all for doing that.
No problem at all. No, I'm glad. So you were able to contact them and get everything moving. Okay, awesome.
Yes. And so Daniel, seeing you here, Daniel, it wasn't in other words, when we went to get the activation, he goes, well,
I know.
But how about the fact that I had already you and I had already talked, and because I'm actually talking with the people, so I would just say no, and she really, so just know that you were beyond our expectations, and thank you for that. And that goes for the same with the other people. We can actually put our rings up and show that they actually provided us. Gotta see it.
Did they?
They actually provided our wedding bands.
Oh my God. Okay.
They are titanium and they have the Lord's Prayer in them.
Oh, won't he do it?
Yes. So
yes, he will.
Yes, okay.
Oh, that is nice. I didn't know that. Okay, so they also provided the rings too.
They did, and Daniel and I had already provided our own rings because of the fact that we did not realize that we were going to be even selected as winners. So we had already, you can imagine we were in the middle of planning our wedding already. We just had not, thank goodness, financially. We actually started to pay on some things, but we had not financially completed that portion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she caught us, and basically the story we just told you is what won us. Actually, as one of the winners up, is if that's how you want to put it, but that did qualify us for pretty much an all expense paid wedding, and it was went really well. My mother came from Texas. She was one of the few.
Oh, okay.
And my uncle came from Houston, so that's also
okay. So you do have some family in Texas.
Oh yeah, well, her whole family is there.
Oh, okay, the whole family. Okay.
Yeah, we'll be down there in a little bit. I'll give you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be down. And,
okay. Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. Yeah. And I also want to see, Daniel, how did you feel about the wedding as well?
I loved it. I thought it was very, very nice put together because we were struggling trying to get all the pieces together.
Right. Okay.
We didn't know what to do, where to turn, and everywhere we tried to get a vendor seemed like they would be sold out.
It was difficult.
It was very, very, very difficult trying to get a place. So it was kind of creating tension. So that relieved a lot of stress immediately.
Okay. That's real good. I am so glad you both had a blast at the Couples Fest 2022 event. And to be honest with you, I'm glad I got a chance. That's how I met you.
Yes.
So it's great. It seemed like everything worked out very well. It really
Thank you, and likewise, we're glad to know you as well. So
thank you so much. Oh, so Crystal, you stated by choice you waited almost too late to date in hopes of finding your soulmate, and after those dates and things not working out, you finally found Daniel. So let me ask you this. So what advice can you give women that are currently in your situation? They're thinking that there's no hope, they might be of a specific age and I can't find any good men. What advice could you give to those women?
Yeah, so I actually say, do have your heart in the right place, and do not go in judging, and especially a book by its cover, if you will. Do go on several dates consistently, even if the first couple don't go exactly, unless it's something that is a deal breaker, is what I call. But if it was the color sweater they wore, like you said, if they didn't bring their wallet or something, something like this, because it takes a while to gel with someone and get to know. And even like on the third or fourth date, you say, I didn't know that about that person, and you just kind of build and bond. So what I was doing was what I call one-hit wonders, meaning I was going on dates and I wouldn't call them back, or nor would I receive their call.
Oh, okay.
The opposite end sometimes, where they wouldn't contact me back either. So I was like, well, that's that then. But it was true that once Daniel and I met, we actually did go on a few dates, and it was almost like it wasn't 1 week that we didn't see each other for at least several months. And I think it really also was that some advice Daniel had for me, because our lifestyles were a little different. He had a married lifestyle and I had a single lifestyle.
Right.
He had some advice to me that I normally don't take from anyone, but I did. and that was just about really where we knew, hey, this is really a good feeling. And for both of us, it has been that since. So.
Oh, it has. Okay. And it's kind of interesting because like you mentioned, Daniel, you said you were married for about 30 years, right? That's a long time. I mean, like now in today's time, that's a long time with so many people, I don't want to say the D word, but, divorcing and stuff like that. So you were so used to the married life, and then Crystal was used to dating and trying to find the right person. And she also mentioned about online. So that was something you've never done before.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Right. Okay. That's real interesting, the way the dynamics were different between you before you both came together. So I also wanted to ask Crystal, what made you feel or know that Daniel was the one for you?
Well, speaking of just the day before we actually met, I was supposed to be at work and I worked nights at the time. And I never have missed work. And Daniel can tell you, even today, I'm a workaholic, if you want to put it that way.
Okay.
I'm a real workhorse, if you will. But I actually was sitting, like having hot chocolate and watching a movie, like snuggled up with my, what do they call? Do they make Snuggies anymore? But something like this, where I was really looking homely. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden on my computer, I don't know if you know online, but some conversation pops up almost like a text.
Okay.
And I was looking like, well, who is this person? And of course it was Daniel, and he was like, hi, how are you? And I was just kind of ignoring, like, whatever. And then I said, well, I'm fine. And, I'm still watching this movie or something. And he's like, and just kind of maybe over an hour's time, we're just kind of, I think, casually chatting online.
Oh,
and
okay.
then I finally just said, well, look, I'm going somewhere tomorrow, but would you like to meet? And he actually happened to be coming to that neighborhood as well. But I think that did not, of course, let me know that he was the one. But it really did happen as though after we met, we never not saw each other after that.
We just saw each other all the time.
Yeah, well, there was really no obstacles that we wanted to put up to block our knowing each other.
Right.
So
okay.
I think that's how he was available and I was available. We called each other at the right time. He was not, of course, available for anyone prior to this. So I was just honored that, I was available for him, and I happened to be at the right time in my life. So
the right time. Oh, the right time, the right place. And what would you say, Daniel? When did you know that Crystal was the one for you?
Well, I asked her to make some adjustments, like her friends who used to hang out with friends, so your friends have to be my friends. She will make every single adjustment work right here. Because that's what I was used to. I was used to the dynamics of being married, that everything was always done together.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Everything together. Every weekend we was always going together. So I'm gonna pick some real boring chores and go to Walmart. She's willing to hang out this dude, and she did the boring stuff. So this is
I know you.
I was a social butterfly here in the area. I'll be telling you, like the little mayor's friend or something. But I was at every function that could be had. I was there.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because Daniel kind of seemed a little laid back.
Yeah.
Okay. I knew I was getting those vibes. Okay.
You're picking up on right. Exactly. Yes.
Well, one other thing I want to ask you, well, a couple of other things I want to ask you. What are your plans going, ending in 2022 and going into 2023 together?
So what I plan to do, because the house I'm in now, which is just about paid for, me and my previous wife built this together.
Okay.
I don't think it's fair to Crystal to live in the house that we built together. So I wanted to sell this one.
Oh, okay.
House. She can decorate and we can build a life together.
Right. Okay. Okay, Mr. Daniel.
And actually, I just found out about this, so it was almost a surprise to me. But one of our favorite pastimes is to watch HD TV. Is that it? Mm-hmm. And it's like all these different flip the house and all that. This is one of the things. Oh
yeah.
We like to watch those, and we actually, as a hobby, and we hope not to waste realtors' time, but we like to go looking at houses too. Mind you, it's usually not with the intent to even buy. Like I said, I hope we're not wasting their time, but we like to look at model homes.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that. How you feel? Why would you say you think you're going to waste the realtor's time? That's their job.
You might be right. Well, here in our area, and I think what you might be correct about, people seem so busy, but I think you're right. They want to show you the home.
Right.
In this case, it is becoming more of a reality, and we literally have kind of locked in on a few properties. So we're definitely moving forward in that, and that's kind of an exciting feeling. Good. But I'm fine where we are, but I like the fact that Daniel is open to and even for his own self, I think it would be good. So yeah. That's what we plan to do before the end of the year, is kind of
2023.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When do y'all plan? Let me ask real quick. When y'all plan taking that trip?
Well, that trip that we have, that you all have provided in your romantic travel, definitely is going to happen, I think, in February and March. I haven't even told him that yet. Yeah, I haven't told him that yet, but I've actually made and broke ground for that. And we're looking at Palm Springs, California.
Okay.
Or you know what, that whole thing that happened in Florida might kind of divert us somewhere else. So we're pending the second location, but you gotta give them too, so we'll let you know. Yeah.
Okay, if y'all can provide an update, because I really want to make sure everything works out for us, that part for you. Yeah, so y'all can definitely let me know. And I think lastly, what would you say are the 3 main learnings or things about your relationship you would want listeners to get from this interview today?
Well, just because you ain't got your wife, I mean you broke.
I know that's right, Mr. Daniel. That's right.
That's a good one. That's a good one. And I'm just going to concur with that. I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually, Daniel may agree with, I know he will agree, but he may not agree right now. But I am one of the biggest, hardest people I have so many other things that I need to work on, but I will give the literal shirt off my back to just a stranger. I'm just one of these people. And so really, like I said, going back to the wallet thing, that is so not me. But I think what came out was really me, that person that really was like understanding, and it really was no big deal. But again, like you told me about your friend, I've been that person too. So and I'm just thanking God that day I wasn't.
I do too. I thank God.
Yeah.
It's like, I know y'all from afar, but it's like, I'm just glad to see that you didn't just let that be the end all be all.
Right. And there's one other thing, and I don't know if you spoke to James and Cynthia Green, but they actually wrote a
I'm going to get that. Yes,
and
I saw that.
Yes, we are not complete, but couples determined to make marriage great. And so we are opening the pages to this, and we'll let you know. But
I thought you were going to tell me y'all were in it.
No. Well, we're not, but I will tell you about these 2 authors here. They're the ones who are responsible for you and I meeting, and they're also the ones who were able to advocate with the vendors and get our wedding, which took a real stress off of and it kind of catapulted our relationship, because it really de-stressed the whole process of it. It actually made us know that we're doing the right thing. And I'm not sure if you're aware, and I don't know, but we actually initially got on this because we just couldn't plan our own wedding, but we didn't know if we had won or not. And so Cynthia can tell you, but it must have fell in God's hand that they voted us as winners.
Right.
And we were not contacted until a little bit after. It was kind of a delay. I think she had to get
okay.
Yeah. So if you can imagine, we were already getting ready to make a down payment on another.
I'm glad y'all did not.
And we would not be married now, because that was going to be at the end of this month. So we wouldn't even. And now that this has happened, we actually have no regrets. So everything is falling in place the way that I think God meant it to be. So
that's good. Yeah, and then you could use those finances and that money towards something else. So you don't have to worry about doing no down payment, because it was all taken care of by Cynthia.
Yeah. I think the joke with Daniel was, see what happens when you're cheap, but because I'm only saying now you were getting a free wedding out of it, but the funny part about that is not that he was being cheap. We were going to definitely have a nice wedding regardless, but he makes a joke that because we waited on trying to find the vendors for our own plans, that this came up. Yeah, so it's all working out.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. You just want to get married and probably later on do the ceremony. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not, it's big, but it's not that big to where you can't negotiate or come together and say, okay, we can do this later or whatever. Like I said, you were able to use your finances towards something else, and you got an all expenses paid wedding. Yes. So that's what it's about.
Yes.
And you got it done.
We did. We're married. We're
right.
Married.
You are both married. So I definitely want to say congratulations to you both. You both did amazing. I love your story, how you both met. And really appreciate you both coming out and talking to me. I want to thank you both so much for coming out. I really, really appreciate it. You don't know what you just don't know. And if I can possibly later on, it don't have to be soon or whatever, just get a little update, text me and say, Yeah, Toy, we're doing pretty good. Da, 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 da.
We will. Yes, we will. And I think you might be on my social media, so we'll be posting things.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
we're happy to have you on there as well. So absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I would really love to anything I can do and help out. I would love it.
You've done.
Thank you both for coming on. If you're not a member, make sure to join my exclusive travel community, Travel Romantic Getaways, where we share tips, romantic destinations, and more to prepare you for your next romantic getaway and beyond. So you can definitely go on to travelwithtrg.com. That's travelwithtrg.com. Just fill out a few short questions to become a part of the community. And you have just listened to the Sugar and Spice podcast with your host, LaToya Haynes Piper. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast. Until the next episode.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on.
Okay. Well, talk to you soon.